Hey everybody, time to get the DR back together. It's been a little bit longer than I was expecting. I've been very busy this month, basically, lots of admin stuff and bits and pieces I've been sorted out, so everything's kind of just going at a slower pace. But anyway, there is movement. I've sprayed this, the bit that was a bit chipped. This guard plate, thankfully, covers all of that, so it won't be seen. And when it's got some dirt on it, you'll never know. Whoops. Okay. Let's start. So I need to get the boot that goes from the airbox onto the carb on, with the straps in the right places. Come on. The tail's suspended by a rope attached to the rafter, so I can slowly let it down and get the carb and everything to meet up. Okay. Wow. Do you see what I forgot to do? Then we put the shock in. Come on. Yes. Okay, jumping forward 20 minutes, I realised the front end of the boot wasn't on the carb properly this side, so I loosened off this end and there was a lot of swearing. There is no room to move in here to get things on, but eventually I did it. It's all in place now. And I've got to get this bolt through here. Oh god, I've got to lift the entire rear end of this bike. That's a problem. It's got no front end to stop it tipping forwards. I can do it that way. Okay, so that's tight, so I can put this plate back on. By the way, when I put this on, I used some RVT to make like little rubber stoppers to stop it rubbing on the frame, and it worked perfectly. So if you need to put any plates on and it could rub against your paintwork, you can RVT some little beads along, and yeah, worked perfectly. RVT? RTV. What is 40 foot-pounds in Newton meters?
According to Grammarly, 40 is the...
What is 40 foot-pounds in Newton meters?
40 pounds force foot is equivalent to 54.233 Newton meters.
Okay, so that's the top one done. You know, we've had a bit of a heat wave at the moment. Well, the humidity here today is horrendous. So hot doing this. Right, right, the bottom of the shock has been torqued, the top has been torqued, this has been torqued, they've been done up. Tank can go down. So all there's left to do now is to put the exhaust back on and put the plastics and the seat back on. Only thing is, I've just realised I don't have any sealant for the exhaust, and this needs sealant because there is a big gap between the two. I actually have a metal ring in there to help take up some of it, but I'm going to need a new tube of sealant, so I can't actually finish this video today, which is kind of annoying. So catch me in 2 seconds for you, but it'll be tomorrow for me. Bye. Ta-da! The next day. Right, let's get this exhaust back on. The first thing I want to do is just clean up the old sealant off the end of the exhaust. I'm using a piece of sandpaper folded over. It's like 240 grit. Right, I'm just taking a Dremel with a little wire brush on it, and I'm going to clean up the inside of here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but can you see there's like a second skin just inside the exhaust? This tube is slightly too big for the mid-pipe. Well, this is the mid-pipe, that's the header, sorry. The mid-pipe is slightly too big for the header pipe. So just normal sealant in there has enough movement that it will break the sealant and it will blow it all out, so it always leaks. You could swage this up slightly, but I don't have a swaging tool. But putting in like a shim sheet, and I think this might be... Oh, I know what this is. This is thin galvanised steel sheet I had, like 0.5 mil, something like that. I cut a piece out to get it the right size, bent it around, and I also then cut the slits down a bit further, and that's how we now end up with this. And it's glued in basically with sealant. And it does work. It actually doesn't leak for the first time in a very long time on this bike. Right, so... Where's the barrel band? This is not... I'm using an excessive amount of assembly paste to help get it together, but also to seal it. Tighten up the middle one, because that can't move. That just has to be where it is. One tip, don't go too tight with exhaust bands. They have a habit of snapping, because you don't feel like you're putting that much pressure on, but they've got a lot of mechanical advantage and you end up snapping them. That's solid now. Pinned at the front, pinned in the middle. This is still loose because I undid that thinking I might have to undo it all. Okay, time for an idiot check. We torqued up the bottom bolts, we torqued up the top bolts, we torqued up this bolt. These are done down, these are all done up, this is done up, that's done and sealed, this is done. I think I just got to pop the plastics back on and the bike is done, or at least done, ready for when the suspension comes back. And then it's just a case of slotting them in, doing up 8 bolts, putting the wheel on, and we go. So there you go, all done. Well, as much as we can do for now. Switching that damper over was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. There was some fiddly stuff in the middle, but putting it back together was a lot quicker, so that's good. There's now nothing I can do with this until the suspension comes back in maybe 3 or 4 weeks. But it's good to have got ahead with this, so this is now ready for when the forks come back. I've got some interesting stuff coming up. I've got another bike review coming, well, probably the video after this, to be fair. And that's going to be a very, very interesting one, to say the least. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to help support this channel, please consider doing that through Patreon, links in the description. It really is about 0.3% of the audience that make this possible. If it wasn't for that 0.3%, I would have to stop this tomorrow. It's that serious. So if you want to help support this channel, please do, because obviously not everyone can stay on forever. So, until we have the forks back, bye-bye, Derek.